Welcome to another session of Val's Monologues. I'm your gracious host, Val Wholeness, coming at you on a night. Yeah, it's definitely a night. It's a night that we have to be thankful for. Hopefully, if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, you feel that way because it sucks right now. It does. It's because of that I got Phil Collins talking to me a little bit. And this is me sharing my blessing with you. Because it's going to be alright, Atlanta. We gonna bounce back from this. We've been, experiencing losing season this long. I guess we can experience one more loss. But this one stings. This definitely stings. But take it like a champ. Take it like a champ. Move on. Personally, my goals are still ahead of me, so I'm just gonna sleep this off and wake up in the morning and go after my goals like my life depended on, because it does. It does. But I gracefully give New England Patriots credit. Congratulations. You definitely proved a major point. But it still stings. Y'all still some cheating bastards. But, it is what it is, man. Atlanta had a game. We gave it away. Wow. And, just looking at social media, it's funny. Well, it's cool how, everything is real time now, so you can look at social media and get everybody's reaction during the game. And, but we was high. At one point, those comments were, up in the air, like Phil Collins said. But, man, that fourth quarter, oof. But you take the good with the bad. It's still a great city for people like me. And you just keep pushing. Hopefully one day they'll figure it out. I mean, they got a good thing going. Hopefully the off season will be productive. And we'll be back and winning again next year. But tomorrow's not promised to. They should have won tonight. And it's funny, I was watching those post game shows, and goodness gracious, they do this city so wrong, because at one point they showed how many professional championships Boston had versus Atlanta, and it was like 37-1, right? And what's funny, looking at that, watching Dion's reaction, he was like, that's not the city's fault. That's because they had a trail of bad management, and it's true. It's true. With the Braves, the most successful franchise in the city should be Braves. I mean, it is the Braves, but they should have won more than one championship. And you saw what's happening now, why they moved that park to Cobb County, because they're, advertising to a certain sect of the city, which is ridiculous. And I mean, they did that during that run they had where they focused on pitching, and I say that in parentheses, and got rid of some good players and some good role players that didn't look like, the status quo. And thus, throughout the 90s, what could have been the team in the 90s, got the ass when it came down to crunch time. But that's another story. That's the history of the city. And we turn Phil Collins down. And we'll get it right someday. We'll get it right. Because the city deserves it. The city deserves it. I mean, if you can just see all the Falcons flags that were flying, this past season, especially these last 2 weeks, it was real cool to see. It was real cool to see. But moving on. Shout out to the Falcons fans out there. Shout out to the people who really have a big influence in my life. You know, give a shout out to Computer Love, Jason Dawkins, who has a lot going on right now. In this business, if you're looking for a good work from home program, contact Computer Love on Facebook. Shout out to the recycling guys out there. I don't want to mention anybody's names right now, but there's some big things happen in the recycling world. One of the industries I participate in, the auto industry. Shout out to the salespeople getting it done. You know, making that money. Just hope that you guys find a bigger passion to make money, though. But that's another story. I mention that because, you know, these guys live by a certain code, code of conduct. Not everybody follows it, but enough people that I deal with do. And I try to surround myself with people that walk that line of having a code. Because, number one, they're easy to be around. You know where they stand. Ain't no guessing. You know, you just live your life. You just live your life and do your business by a certain walk. And I want to talk about code because it's missing. It's missing in our society. It really is. I think that a lot of problems we have people, men and women, living by no code. And I had that happen to me this week with some young folks I dealt with that were supposed to be customers, but you know, because of having no honor amongst themselves, no honor, didn't happen. Then I lose customers, you know, here and there, but the way this went down was just, you know, I'm in a mindset I'm ready to fight if I see these people, because make a long story short, it's the last day of the month, and this couple comes in at 6 o'clock, and we close at 8. Now, I usually like to get customers around that time because I know that if there's something going on, we're going to be there late. And it just so happened because it was end of the month, I went ahead and took them because I needed the numbers. Well, one of the young cat, I really can't call them a couple because I asked like 15 times what are they together, and they couldn't give me a straight answer. So whatever, you know. So one of them type of relationships. So anyway, the young cat's from here. I think he said he played in the minor league system for some years, didn't quite make it to the major leagues, and you know now he's here working. And the young lady, she had that status about herself. You know, I'm a Spelman grad, and I'm a banker at Wells Fargo, and I have business accounts, and I can't mention who, but trust me, it's somebody big. I work on Far Road, and in the middle Buckhead, and you know, it's funny, man. That status stuff. You know, if you work at one of them strategy jobs, understand something. When you're dealing with a guy like me, who pretty much knows that no matter how much they pay you, you done sold yourself, you done sold out yourself some type of way to get that position, number one. And number two, you know, if you claim that $80,000 salary, you're really making half of that. And then you got to be there all the time. And then, you know, you got to be living on pins and needles because there ain't no money. You know, you stay there 10 years and your salary may have gone up a couple percent, you know, 2%. You know, you got to follow their rules, no type of individualism, or you're out the door. And to me, that's crazy. So, shout out to those folks out there that understand that if you really want to call the shots, then you bring your own gun, you know? You bring your own gun to the gunfight. So back to her, you know, she needed a car because her other car was old. I think she had left it back in Houston. That's where she's from, by the way. And you know, it's funny. You know, when I'm showing them the car, we're actually connected. You know, me and the two people, we actually have good conversations. Like, you know, we actually become friends on that test ride. That's just how much we're connected. You know, we really have a lot in common. I found out. You know, the guy, like I said, he's from Georgia, from the Fayette County area. I'm a sports fan. He's a sports fan. He's in the vegan lifestyle. I'm looking to get that way, so I'm asking him questions. You know, the young lady, you know, she's sort of looking as we have a man crush on each other, but you know, she's not. You know, she's just worried about, you know, getting a car, that type of thing. So she's not tripping too much, although she makes some little slick comments. But we're vibing. Overall, we're vibing. You know, I show her the car. You know, I show her a couple of cars and find out getting a car that she loves. And now she's turned on, right? So we get to the negotiating table, and this where things go south. And that's how it is sometimes at those negotiations. I'm pretty much, I look forward to those negotiations, really, because that's when you really, I tend to see people's real emotions, real feelings. Well, we'll put it this way. I tend to see who they really are. And when negotiations come to find out that this dude's a butthole and this girl is scared. Right? We're at it. We're going at it for over an hour. Really talking about a couple dollars, man. I mean, you know, we hit them not high, but high enough to where, you know, be fair, you know, if we meet in the middle. And he hits real low. And my thinking is, okay, we're going to hit somewhere in the middle and just call it a day and be done with it. Well, not this cat. This cat wants everything his way. And, you know, she doesn't say anything, which I'm surprised. But then again, I'm not surprised. You know, I knew she was a little girl, you know, when she walked in the door. Now, I know I'm going to be a little bit personal, but just wait till you hit her end. Anyway, after, you know, the magic comes in and, you know, he's negotiating that type of thing, and the guy's disrespecting me, he's disrespecting the manager, and this little short cat. As a matter of fact, one of the guys was calling him Little Kevin Hart. That's just how short he is and how much mouth he has, right? So after going back and forth and digging about a couple pennies, man, we finally settled on the price that pretty much gives him, you know, the winning edge. He pretty much puts everything in his favor. And what made me want to fight was that, you know, when we agreed on it, he writes down 2 mugs, meaning that he wants the price and 2 free coffee mugs. I'm like, man. And he was about to get up and walk out. He's about to get her to get up and walk out. So finally I go to, you know, to the little closet and get him old flag and old hat and pretty much not throw it at him, but put it on the table like, here, there you go. There's something free. Besides the damn deal. You know what I'm saying? Besides my time. Right? So she calls her mother. She gets on the phone, calls her mother. And the mother tells her it's a good deal and all that stuff. She comes back in, you know, says I want the car and all this good stuff, right? So they do all the paperwork. And mind you, he's still talking about those 2 mugs, by the way, and I'm sort of laughing it off, man. At this point, I'm laughing. Well, on the inside, I'm like, man, I'm ready to go. And I'm gonna bust you up if you keep bugging me, right? So we get back to finance, and it's funny, the door is open, and you know, they're with the finance guy, but the